Don't post nothing. Just leave it. It's a chill day. But I'm stuck with that song now. I want to hear it again. The one I was singing. It's a little loud. It's a little loud, guys. For real, I want to hear it again. I'll play it on my phone. It's a late stream, and we're farming. We're dungeon, gathering milk, petting the cows, making sure they have hay. Dude, that song is like stuck in my head for real. Inside your eye. Let me love and still. It's so high, but I can still sing it. Those 80s bops. Those wedding singer bops, dude. I forget the beginning of it. How does it go? Oh man. Stardew and 80s bops. I hope the game's a little bit more stable than it was the last time. So hopefully it's not crashing as much. I'm thinking because it's like a multiplayer thing, like when you have too many people on it, it might crash a little. But it looks pretty stabs. But what is up, you guys? It's a late night Stardew stream. We're here singing 80 songs and playing these indie games on TikTok and chilling with my friends whenever they join in. Welcome to the stream. Pull up a chair, put some popcorn in the microwave. It's a show, dude. The late night show. It's a weekday. It won't be too long of a stream. Everybody's got work tomorrow, so we'll keep it short and sweet, right? Why am I in the mines, you ask? Because I like toiling away and finding different materials. And you never know, you find like a rare item. Some, like, before the stream crashed, or not the stream, but the game, right? I had just found a prismatic shard. Unfortunately, like, it's gone forever. I already have the purple swords, or the galaxy sword, I mean, but like, I could have used that prismatic shard. Like, that was kind of messed up. So we'll have to get another one. Are you still like farming the geodes whenever you get a chance, by the way? The red ones? You still open them? How many were there? Because I gathered a bunch. Damn, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm not really crazy about going to the blacksmith. I'm a free bird, guys. Like, I'm gonna go whenever I want, and I'll I'll break open the geodes whenever I get a chance, which is never, right? But it's kind of cool because, like, if you go, like, you're gonna get, like, I think of it like Pokemon cards. Like, if you're gonna break open like 10 geodes, I think it kind of narrows down what you're gonna get. And if you get a bunch of them, I don't know if that's how the game works, right? Maybe it's not even like that, but I'd like to think that the game probably gives you like a roll, so you're gonna get a pool. You get a decent pool and like maybe get a rare, you know? I apply that logic to a lot of things. Does it actually apply to it? Probably not, but it makes it a little bit more fun. Uh-oh. Is it a bad luck day? Is it? It is, right? Because of the red? Yeah, I hardly ever check the news on the game. It's also a rare occurrence for me to like do the checks and balances to make sure I don't run into any trouble. I just kind of wing it. Much like I do the lives. I just randomly start streaming at whatever time. I think it's more fun this way for me. It puts a lot less stress on me. It's just like, it's more free flowing. I don't have the pressure of like getting on here and putting on a show. It is what it is. Like, you show up and you pull up your chair and sit down with me and we can chat a little bit and grind out some levels for however long we want to stay on, you know. It's no order to it, really. I think it's more organic that way too. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it being a little bit more free flowing and not having a formula, you know. Because more often than not, like, when you start thinking about it too much, it becomes kind of like this task, and I don't want that to be a thing. I want it to be kind of like this cash thing. Maybe that's also why I do that too. Like, I treat it like a rare TCG. Like, you never know what kind of person's gonna walk in on the live at whatever time you start, you know? I like that. I like the idea of that. Like, that's that moment that you were on. I think it happened for you, you know? Like, I think that definitely happened for how you started streaming. In that moment, everybody that is in our Discord right now, like, they were playing and they finally stopped scrolling for like however long they were scrolling, saw your stuff, and then just paused dead in their tracks and stayed, and they never looked back. Pretty cool though. Definitely pretty cool. It also makes it like easier for me, like, if nobody's in here like at this particular moment, like, I don't have the peer pressure, like, oh, nobody's showing up, you know. Like, I'll deal with it as they come. It's a Tuesday after all, you know. It's gonna be a kind of random day. Do you feel like I'm getting a little bit better, or is it like about the same? Like me being on. What's up, dude? Yeah, boys in here. He jumps in. What's up, dude? What are you doing? Screwing? I love that sound. I was singing some 80s tunes right now. You're playing Animal Crossing? Get off of that game, bro. Come play Stardew. It's better. This game makes you fall asleep. Yeah, it is very soothing, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's why I like playing it too, you know? Like, it's very chill. It's not too demanding on the attention span, you know? You can kind of pause it and just move on to other things. I was playing this weird trading card one. As much as I try staying awake and alive, I will fall asleep knowing myself. It's cool. I'm not like, oh, you need to be there, like, tapping away. I treat myself like a TV. You can treat me like the TV. You can turn me on, fall asleep, do whatever, dude. I'm not gonna get offended. It ain't a big deal. If anything, like, it's a bonding experience, you know, like, I'm there putting you to sleep. I was putting Sandra to sleep. I was, like, playing this music earlier, and she was like, you need to turn that off. It's, like, super boring. It makes me fall asleep. Man, they messed me up. I better get out of here. It's already 8 anyway, so. Did I even get anything cool? Nope. It's literally trash. We had Sonic earlier. We snacked today, huh? It was a snack day. We got slush. We had girl dinners. Everyone in the car had a girl dinner. We had slushies, tater tots, little ice cream. No, I keep saying ice cream. Why do I keep saying ice cream? Is that why I keep doing that? Not ice cream. Christmas trees. The white Christmas trees. So we had a bunch of those. Everybody, like, I think Julie got one too, no?
Yeah,
they both got one. Oh, they're all asleep. I forgot. My bad, chickens. You've never had Sonic, dude? That's crazy. I mean, like, their food is okay. I'm not gonna say it's like the best burgers in town, but it's alright.
I just like their drink.
I like their drinks more than anything. Like, they have good drinks, like the slushies and like, not the blizzards, but like their frosties and all that. They have good sides too. Like, they have like the tater tots and then the chili cheese dogs and stuff like that. But not everybody likes their chili cheese stuff.
I don't like it.
You don't like Sandra doesn't like their hot dogs. They taste kind of, I will admit it, like, they do have a little bit of a weird, like, cheap taste. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know when somebody brings, like, those, like, really, really cheap hot dogs? I'm not trying to sound, like, super snobby and rich. It's just, like, spend the extra $2 and get like the extra, like, the bar S is cool, right? Like, those are fine. But when you start messing with that other brand, like the one at the dollar store where it's like, I think 30 cents with the cheap bread, yeah, like, it starts tasting funky. Like, it don't taste right, and it has that, like, you know, that little cheapy taste. Cheap bread that almost cuts your throat. It's rough, dude. You know, like, I trusted it on several occasions where I went to the Dollar General, like, I went to, like, a dollar store, and I'm buying, like, bread for the house, and I just assume that they don't have, like, trashy things, right? So I get home, and I'm gonna make a PB&J. Like, I was super psyched to make the PB&J. I pull out the bread, and it's, like, rock hard. Like that stuff had been sitting there for who knows how long. And I was like, this is brand new. Like, how is it expired? And then I made the assumption like maybe they left this one behind, but no. Like, anytime you go to the dollar store, like little tip, like make sure you double check the dates just in case, because some of the items, they just get like lost in the stock, you know. They will just keep cycling them through and you end up with like a 3-year-old Snickers. It's not good anymore. Remember that time I brought you wasn't it a Twix? It was, I think it was a Twix. I brought home a Twix for Sandra one time, I think. And she opened it and she was like, this is expired. Like, it doesn't, you can't even bite into it. And I was like, oh snap, it is expired. It was like 4 or 5 years old. Like the date was like really far gone. I think the music in this game also puts people to sleep. Like, it's too chill. It's too Stardew. It's too chill. I wanted to put music, but Sandra said it's boring. She says it's not it. Because I don't really want to be like doing much. I want to do like a low energy stream to just like wind down. But this game's pretty chill. It's not too involving. What's up, Mags? On Thursdays you should put Throwback Thursday music jams. Yeah, I wanted, maybe that's what I was like thinking. Maybe you read my mind right now. Did you just read my mind? Because as I was literally singing 80s music right now on the live. Maybe somebody heard me. I don't know. Maybe a talent scout will spot me and be like, oh damn, is that boy George singing 80s songs again? For real. You read my mind a little bit. I was like thinking of doing that and like doing maybe not like exclusively throwbacks, like a Throwback Thursday, but like more like pop culture or like pop music, like everything that's like those earworm type sounds, or like the soundtracks that we have to listen to, that no matter how many times you've heard it, like you always want to pop it back on, you know, or if you hear it in passing, like you're there listening to it again. The one I always feel like I want to listen to, and for reasons that will remain like off channel, like I want to listen to like Thriller all the time, and I feel weird about it. Like I want to join. I want to watch, or like not the music videos, but like the, well, yeah, the music videos, but like the, I can't think of the word right now. You guys get me. But yeah, those songs, I want to have them in my playlist. I'm just like, nah, never mind. They're good songs. It just like feels weird for me. What's up, Jacqueline? Oh man, but yeah, well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that on Thursdays from now on. I'll like do a Throwback Thursday soundtrack. We'll do like an 80s night or a 90s night. The 90s night for me would like be more on point, because I grew up like on 90s music mostly. There's a little bit of like 80s stuff in my playlists, not too much. Really, it's more like the metal side of it. Like I like Iron Maiden and stuff like that, and like early Metallica. What's up, Bubble? I'm redesigning the interiors of all my villagers' houses right now. Damn. Y'all like hustle with that stuff on Animal Crossing. You really don't put it down. It's 3 out of 10 done. Lord, I said it on myself. It's so much work to do that stuff. Like, I'm glad that Sandra did everything. I can just like waltz in and just enjoy everything that she did. So it's pretty fun to just get the benefit and the reward of everybody's hard work. Just like do. Let me get my outfit. I was like real casual, just walking in on the live, like let me go get my outfits real quick. And I flew in, got like a billion bells from everybody, always bringing in bells all the time. Like, I'm spoiled, dude. I'm super spoiled with you guys. It is the benefit of everyone's hard work. I'm sorry, guys. I never played that game. Like, it's not in my sphere at all. Like, this is the stuff I play, like the shooters and stuff. So, like, this showed me that that's the only game you play, or it's just like Mario Kart in this. I kind of had to venture off and play games I never played. I still can't really get the hang of some of the controls on Animal Crossing. It's still like, and it's because I don't play it. I don't play it at all. Like, it's there, but I don't play it. And that was Sandra's argument to me in the beginning as well. She's like, you're not gonna play it. But I also don't want to like take up a slot during the lives. Like, if there's a slot for somebody that's gonna do something, I don't want to be sitting there like taking up a spot on the bus, you know. I think she's playing Animal Crossing right now. She's doing something. I don't know what she's doing. Are you cleaning up or what? Or are you changing your setup? I'm finishing up the farm area. And I also, like, we keep getting off the topic, but like when I was doing all the podcast stuff earlier, like I was like trying to go back to that topic of like aliens. So that's what I was using as my fuel to kind of like think about like what our topics will be when we eventually start to transition into that podcast stuff. Like, I want to have like kind of like an idea of what the topics are going to be, and also organize a little, like, if it's going to be an interaction based stream or if it's just going to be a hear me out type stuff, like, or it's just hear what I'm saying podcast. I would like to keep it more like a live, because I really like this interaction, like where I get to feed off of like what you guys are talking about, and it makes it a conversation instead of just me yapping away about nonsense. To me, it makes more sense to do it that way. Did you want this pine tar still?
Yeah.
I always ask. I always think you're going to say no, but you always say yes. The pickled potatoes, do you want to keep them or sell them? Okay. Pickled green beans, do you want those?
You need to sell that.
Okay. All of it?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Haunted? What's up, invaders? Yeah, we're...
That storage is big for you.
Yeah, this one? I'm already filling it up. Pickles in real life. Yeah, we won't do it too long of a stream. No worries, guys. We're not going to be on too long. I just wanted to, like, sign off with you guys, you know? Like, play a little bit, sign off, and call it a night. We're not going to stay up like last time. I figured I have the energy. I'm still awake. I'm probably going to be on, like, pretty late. So I'll probably just play, like, Call of Duty on Twitch. So if you're still up and you want to watch something, I'll be over there, and you want to chat, I'll have my mic on Twitch so I can talk to you guys as well. Whoever's awake. No pressures. I also need to keep up with my battle pass. I want to finish that off before the year is out. So I want to level that up and finish it. Because the whole point of that is to get all the cool skins, you know. Have it all like half-assed and not completed. Kind of annoying. I was vibing with that song earlier, man. Like, real bad. That Bo Burnham song. That I'm super late to, by the way. I had heard the audio. Like, I've heard the song before. I've just not, like, really paid attention to it. And then I saw yeah, it's good. I'm very late to it. Super late. But it's super good. Yeah, the All Eyes on Me, the sound, the very popular sound on here. I was like, why am it? I had heard the sound, but like the video is distracted from the song. Whatever video I was watching, like it took away from the song. So I don't know what I was watching today that had that audio, and I finally slowed down and watched it. Damn, like who isn't that girl dating? She dated everybody like in her like
Let us live, jeez.
huh?
Let us live if we want to date everyone.
No, like she's dated all like the big dogs, you know, like she's dating like very popular dudes.
That's what
She likes them artsy. She likes them cultured. Damn. I don't know who Ryan Adams is. I know Brian Adams. I don't know Ryan Adams. Who's Ryan Adams? Oh, okay. Man, I think I've heard you say hometown like at least a dozen times. Everybody's from your hometown. Everybody's from Haunted's hometown. Mandy Moore, and you have like lore on all these like individual artists. Like they're all from my hometown, by the way. If I had these men at my disposal, I too would be dating them all. Yeah, North Carolina is wild. If everybody's from there, like it's pretty crazy. I have not like that state is completely off my radar. Completely. Like I never. It is a small world. You know, I used to hear that when I was younger, and I always thought it was kind of like BS, but it's very true. It is a very small world. Like, we think there's, like, this anonymity, but there's not. I think I already checked this one. Yeah, I did. If Andrew Garfield ever needs a controversial young girlfriend, I'm here. I feel like his little window of fame kind of, like, passed a little bit. I feel like he kind of just got brushed off by Hollywood. And it's not a dig, I just like, it feels like he didn't really get a shot, you know? Like, post Spider-Man, I kind of lost track of him. Me, personally, like, and I'm not saying like a dig, you know, like, oh, he's not on the map. I just didn't see him anymore. And I was expecting to, I guess that's what I mean, like, I was expecting him to like be more on everything, and kind of like I guess when I see Marvel movies, I just expect there to be like this huge wave of like exposure, and well, technically it's a Sony movie, right? Because I think Sony was still owning that franchise at the time. If I'm like not mistaken. I could be mistaken. He just did a movie with Florence. I don't know how to say her name. I'm not gonna say it. He did a Tick Boom, and he's hot, so he's been doing shoots. Oh, okay, like modeling. It's pronounced Pew. Didn't he do Chicken Shop Date? Y'all are like, it's going over my head. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I did like all the Spider-Mans being on screen. That was pretty cool. Like seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland all kind of like pick up the mantle. That was cool. Like that scene was just like, that was it, dude. Chicken Shop Date is a cute Brit who takes celebs on dates for fried chicken and interviews. I mean, that's a pretty good interview. You get a free meal out of it. I've never heard of that. Chicken Shop Date. Who's the host? Y'all gotta send me the link to that. I want to see it when I get the stream off. When I get off streams. Amelia Dims. The name drops, man. I don't know any of these people. I'm too old. I'm just too old for some of these references. So forgive me. Alls I know is millennial stuff. Everyone raise their hand if you're here.
Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?
Who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? I was like vibing to that Bo Burnham song, like bad. I think I played it like 3 times. Do you ever just get annoyed with me playing like songs on repeat like that? Does it bother you?
I just zone it out.
She zones it out.
Half the time I'm never listening to anything you're playing.
You live an hour away from Orlando? I've been to Orlando. I probably crossed paths with you at one time. You've probably seen me in real life. My aunt used to live there, so I would have been like in my teens. I would have had long hair at one point. Because he was in the military. Well, he's retired. But he was in the military, so we would visit, and he was always stationed in weird places. And he was stationed in, in Guam and also in Orlando. At one point he was in Corpus. Like, he was all over the place. They're finally settling down in San Antonio, so I think that's their last stop on the bus. They're gonna settle down for sure now. Orlando's crazy. Like, whew. The heat is something else, man. That swamp heat. Y'all got that, like, swamp. We think our weather's bad. Like, the times I have been to Florida, like, y'all got some different type of humidity. Like, it's, like, dense. It makes our fog and then, like, our heat just pale in comparison to it. Soup air. You literally breathe in like water when you're like just talking and walking. You get a mouthful of water. I think I could deal with the humidity. It's the bugs, dude. Like, I can't stand when there's so many bugs in the air. Like, and Florida's one of those states where it's like you have like 1 billion bugs in the air at all times. And I don't know why, but like they love buzzing around my eyes. Like, I hate that. And then I'm like at that height, you know? It's when you're at that height, that bug height, like you're in their flying zone. So they fly like directly in my line of sight. So I'm always face to face with bugs. I think it's my height. I think it's also like other exterior factors, like what, like if it's mosquitoes, isn't there something about that, like if your blood is a certain way or something, they like you, they seek you out, they want more. Although when Sandra's around, like, she gets lit up. Like, they don't really bother with me when Sandra's around. It reminds me of that Randy Newman song. Short people. I'm not super tall, but I feel like I am at that height for them flying into my face. I always get like a grasshopper, like a moth. Spiders love chilling on my back and my neck, like constantly, like spider webs on my eyes. I could be a meme, dude. Spider webs on my eyes, Johnson. With the Rick and Morty reference, dude. They love my diabetic blood. Maybe that's why, like, because I'm always a hair away from diabetes. I'm always like a hair away from it. They're like, it's just sweet enough, you know? They're like, ooh, it's got that beaties flavor, dude. It's spicy. It's spicy but sweet. I'm like sweet and sour. A frog has jumped on my cousin's head. What? Who did that? Happen to somebody? Remember? Or was it you that the something jumped like direct? Oh, it was a little gecko, and it like flittered around and like jumped on somebody. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, damn, like that was so cartoony that it ran across the wall and like directly jumped on the person in question. I think the best one though is my mom getting attacked by that huge ass beetle that we caught. That was funny. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We caught a huge like.
It was like, Mark, duh.
She was like, Mark, take that outside. I was like, it's huge. So I grabbed it and I'm like, let me like pester it a little, because I wanted to see it like get mad. And I didn't know that they actually get mad. I was like, I think this bug's getting mad. Like, I thought it was gonna like, because I wanted it to like grab the pencil. You know what I mean? I was kind of like putting the pencil in front of it and rolling it. Not poking it, but like rolling the pencil in front of it to kind of like make it grab the pencil. And it actually reared up its legs. Like it went back like in an attack posture. And I just see its back like open up. And the loudest buzz I've ever heard come from a bug. Like, it was so loud. It was insanely loud. It was like, bzz, like loud. Like, I've never heard the bug be so loud. And I guess because we were inside, it just made it worse. It flew directly at my mom and she screamed. I was like, oh, damn. Sorry, Mom. I knew it wasn't going to hurt anybody, but it was freaky and it was loud. Like, did it scare you? You got scared too? I didn't get scared. I wasn't worried. I mean, like, I know they don't bite. They're not going to do anything to you. I will say, though, their legs are very strong. And that I was, like, holding it down and it was moving my hand. Like, it was strong. Like, those bugs are insanely strong. Those giant, like, Goliath-looking beetles. It was huge. I've never, like, seen one so big. That's what she said. I've never seen, one up close anyway. So that was the first time I'd ever seen, like, one of those, like, I guess they could be considered, like, a dung beetle. Like, really up close. Alright, do you have like a fear of bugs, Haunted? I guess we all kind of do. Like, there's always that one bug that just scares you. What's up, Ariana? There's always that one bug that kind of grosses you out, like on a really deep level. Like, you can't stand them. I'm afraid of botflies. Is it because of the egg laying? Because that's a pretty valid one. I actually kind of mess with slugs a little bit. Even though they're kind of gross, like the slime and everything. Yeah, the botfly larva removal videos, like they're pretty intense. I wouldn't recommend them for anybody that has that weird fear of like holes, if you get me. I forget the fear, the phobia, like what it's called. Do you remember what it's called? We'll call it phasmophobia, like the game. I know it's something else. Slugs and snails ruin gardens. I know, and they just fly and drop so you can't do anything. I think that was one of the first videos I had ever seen that was like Dr. Pimple Popper quality, where one of the hikers like in a foreign country came back and she was actually like in the other country, I think, and they did a botfly removal like in the jungle. Trypophobia? I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, it's something like that. If I'm butchering the term, forgive it. But they pulled that thing out of her shoulder. I think it was her shoulder. And that was the first video I had ever seen on YouTube that was like that. That's why it stuck with me. I was like, that's so gross, dude. Like, I can't believe that came out of you. And you've seen it, right? It's a lady. She's like wearing like a tank top. Man, I like vividly remember this. That's how far back it is. I think it's like a green or like bluish tank top, and it's easy access to her shoulder. That's what stuck out to me. I was like, well, at least she's wearing something that she doesn't have to like take off all the way. They have access to that disgusting thing in her back. The snail slug thing. I know there was this crazy story a while back where a guy was dared to eat a snail or a slug, and it basically like it became a parasite in his brain. That was a crazy story. Like they dared him to eat the slug. He did it. It had a parasite in it. It actually became like this really crazy story. I'm sure it's out there. We need to look for it because it's such a crazy, like unbelievable story. Like why? Like it's just a snail, you know? Like it's just a bug kind of thing. I know it's not an actual bug, right? I just consider it a bug, but because aren't they considered like? What's the difference between an insect and a bug? I've always been fascinated by that stuff. Like bugs. Even though they're gross, even though they're kind of disgusting, like I'm low-key like fascinated by them. I used to watch Coyote Peterson on YouTube like religiously, man. Like getting in the sting zone with Coyote Peterson. He was always getting lit up by a bug. It was always like the cow killer and like what was the other one? I think it was like something colored. The executioner wasp. Yeah, I knew there was something else. They're not bugs. Cuz they lay eggs. Snails like or slugs like lay eggs like weirdos. And they're all like clumped up together. There's a lot of those videos on TikTok, and I don't know why they pop up into my feed every once in a while, where they're like crushing the eggs unnecessarily. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. Yeah, they smash the eggs. Why are we all on the same? Yeah, they're invasive. They're literally invasive to like every subcontinent. You know, every other continent that they're not on, like they're invasive. They're not supposed to be there, and they're super poisonous. Like there's a parasite that goes into them and they actually become like zombies. I don't know if you've gotten that far of a deep dive on them, but like they mimic they start to like corrupt the snail or slug, and they go up into a tree. So that parasite makes them go up into a tree and actually triggers their eye stalks to invite a bird to come and eat it, like to become more like palatable to a bird, you know, like to entice it. there were snails that eat stucco on walls. Damn, like they can eat some crazy stuff. And I watched a couple of videos on TikTok where the guys like add calcium to their diet because they can't, like, that's what makes them like hardier and bigger. If you're into anime and you like anime like I do, like, you start to get like these weird ideas about having pets, right? So I like an anime called Naruto, and Tsunade is basically like a slug princess. She uses slimes to like heal her friends, basically. Tsunade's cool. I like her healing abilities. They're pretty overpowered. I feel like they slept on her a little bit. A Slurms Mackenzie. Junji, I can't remember Junji too much. I know the name, like it sounds familiar. I can't think of the character at this point in time. But I'm all about some Naruto and Boruto. I actually really liked Boruto. A lot of people hated it. They weren't too crazy about it, but I digged it. I didn't finish it, but I watched a lot of it. There's a couple of fillers that just put me off of the show at one point. But back to the snails, right? So I get so sidetracked so easily. They make themselves like more enticing to a bird so that they can eat the snail and basically repeat the cycle all over again. They eat the snail, become a parasite, or the bird eats the snail or the slug. They ruin the bird. They corrupt the bird, they make him think dirty thoughts, and then he dies. Or no, he poops, because they poop their little, like, poops that are considered, like, peas, because birds don't actually poop out of their cloacas, I think it's called. Or they have, like, something weird. It's not like an actual, like, anus. And birds are so weird, guys, like, for real. Birds are, like, not from this planet. They're, like... They're hollow bones. They're hollow bones and they're tiny little like brains, even though they're super smart. They have a crop where they digest things with rocks. Yeah, owls are like from another planet, guys. Like they don't even digest anything. They just like they eat it and then they regurgitate everything into a pellet because they can't actually digest any of it. I've looked it up a little because there's a lot of creators that like to like dig through the owl pellets for like mice and their little tiny skeletons because they like making like little dioramas out of them. We had to do it in school. Your school's like kind of interesting. That's something we would have never done around here. In 3rd grade, we had to dissect an owl pellet for the bones. Ooh. 3rd grade? That is really soon. That I would imagine that's more of a middle school thing, if anything. Wow, you guys, I mean, there's school programs in your area are actually pretty good. That's a little too young for me, honestly. Like, that's pretty gross. Like, you're not gonna gain any knowledge from that. You're just gonna think it's gross and like weird. Yeah, the frogs and pigs were in middle school. Like, I guess I would flip them around. No, like not flip them around, but like maybe change what it is. Deer hearts. Whoa, you guys were like advanced, doing some crazy stuff. That's pretty advanced. A deer heart. I guess for like the anatomy aspect of it. I kept getting yelled at because I kept turning away to gag. My teacher was like, you need to do something. That's too much, dude. A deer heart? Welcome back, Bubble. I didn't go to a normal school for middle and high school. I did early college. Ooh, we got a Smarty Pants in the chat. Early college haunted? She accomplished. What? You knew she was a Smarty Pants? We knew you were a nerd, Haunted. Nah, I'm just playing. You big nerdy goth, you. Haunted bubble, haunted bubble. They just keep going at it like that. Nah, I was like normal. School didn't challenge me. I'm like right there with that. Like boo. It's boo. Who you gonna ask? You just joined. It looked like a question. My bad. It looked like a question in the chat. Your username. Who do I talk to? Oh my god. Where is the person that I need to talk to? Where's the old guy?
Why are you there?
I accidentally came to the festival. This is Mario looking guy over here. Hurry up, bro. Who is it? Who do I talk to? Get me out of here. I'm trapped. Oh, there he is. Yes, let's start this stupid festival. It's the flower festival. I don't like the flower festival. I'm single and ready to mingle in the game. I majored in art history and now I'm an analyst. Arts degree are trash, she says. I guess, I mean, you have a point. I've always felt like that. It's a hard truth it's like a hard pill to swallow. It really is very hard to make something with that art degree. I've seen like such talented artists, like, and because you know I'm a Cartoon Network nerd, you've seen like all of that stuff kind of like just not go anywhere with some of the creators that frequented the shows. No, I didn't ask anyone to dance. I use the design and teaching skills to being a trainer though. What? Oh yeah, I'm not in that level yet. I haven't really had a love interest. I think I have Abigail at 4 hearts. She's still not simping for me. I'm climbing up the wrong tree. I'm trying to get her attention. She's kind of falling for me, but it's a process. I'm gonna have to like woo her, you know. I don't know. I like the idea of getting an arts degree. Just because you can say like, you can kind of convince yourself, you know, you put your time in, so to speak. You put your time in to kind of like develop your skill set. So I deal with a lot of self-doubt. I feel like that would kind of like uproot that and be like, okay, I actually know what I'm doing, you know, so I gotta believe in myself and kind of move on into what I'm doing. And if I go somewhere, like I have the pedigree, in other words, to start doing something important, start applying my trade, as it were. Oh yeah, Rejection City, the flower festival is so annoying till you got pays. Yeah, I didn't know it was the festival. I don't keep track of the days. I don't keep track of the seasons. I'm a little like random. I just go wherever I want. I'm not really keeping track of like anything. I just play. I just do what I want. What I feel like doing. You ate leftovers. My art stuff was 3D design, so creating something and bringing it to life is... History was just my fave. I love history, so don't get me started. I just go in that darker side of history most of the time, so like it could get a little tedious having a conversation with me about history, you know? Like, it's all like the greatest generation and then like baby boomer stuff. Like, I wanted to be able to recreate things that were demolished from artifacts. Like Italian stuff. Like, there's a lot of Italian like artifacts like from ancient Rome. Is that what you're talking about? Where they did like art restoration for like pieces? I've seen some of those on YouTube, and it's pretty intense. Like the things that they have to do to kind of bring them back to life is pretty insane. Like, they have to remove the veneer. So the veneer is like a thick layer of like a protective coat that they painted like however old that painting is, and they have to scrape that off like very delicately, because it's like underneath that is like a priceless piece of art and you could easily ruin it. But it's so satisfying to watch. If you guys ever want to check those out, they're super interesting and like super tedious, but like also super satisfying to watch. it's such a skill that they got to do that. Yes, it's a boy chicken farm. I don't really mess with those brown and white chickens. We got goth chickens on this farm. Yes, and like when you get, let's say, a fragment of a statue and you gotta figure out the design, you gotta build them up from scrap. I missed, what did she eat? Oh, potatoes with eggs. You gotta add some bacon to that. Potato, bacon, and egg, dude. That's like my favorite breakfast taco. Like to have potato, bacon, and egg in the morning. That I can eat like 2 of those and I'm good for the day. We had bacon, it went bad because like we lost power at one point and we couldn't trust it anymore, and it put me off of having bacon in the house. Sometimes it's like you gotta eat it quick. You can't leave it in the fridge too long. I think we had that like couple of days that we lost power and I was just like, I don't think it's safe to eat anymore, you know? Yeah, I don't keep them in the fridge because it's like if you leave them in there too long, it's already getting a little questionable. The only reason I won't freeze them is because I'm very picky about like the little like taste that it gets when it's in the freezer, and also there's like water crystals that develop inside the pockets of the bacon. So you're gonna have like it popping water when you throw it in the grill and like on the pan. And I hate the mess. I hate when there's like grease bubbles like popping everywhere. And not only that, like it actually burns you, so it's kind of like a little burning hazard whenever you do that. Because your boy cooks on high heat. I ain't trying to be there all day. I got it cranked on high. I want to cook it in like less than 30 minutes. It shouldn't take longer than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you should be done. Bake it and peel it. What I usually do, like if I'm gonna do a potato, bacon, and egg taco, like I'm gonna peel the potatoes beforehand, peel them and like wash them, make sure they're room temperature if you've had them in the freezer, because they do not cut well when they're chilled. I have to enjoy myself when I'm cooking. Is that weird? Like I have to have things a certain way. I can't have it like unpleasant. So I have to have the potatoes kind of like come to temperature where they're not cold to the touch, where they're kind of like malleable. And I feel like they cook more evenly when you do that. Because I know there's some people that say like you're not even supposed to put potatoes in the freezer. You're not supposed to put them in the fridge. I think it has something to do with how like the sugars like kind of concentrate. I think they get a little like starch. The starch becomes a sugar. I think is what it is. So if you leave them in the fridge, the starches become a sugar, and you're basically making like sugar taters. It's gonna spike your sugar levels like crazy. It already does on its own. You don't need to make it worse. But don't quote me on that. I'm kind of snowballing. I think that's what it is. Yeah, the starches will make them spoil, and never store them next to onions. I know there's a trick with the brown paper, like butcher's paper, and like with avocados. Like if you put them on newspaper, they kind of ripen a little bit faster. And there's a trick with bananas where you put them with like, what is it? What's the trick with bananas where if you put them with something else, like they don't go brown really fast? Why are we like talking about kitchen stuff right now? I love cooking though. I really do. I enjoy cooking. It's one of my little like passions that I like doing. Like when I make breakfast for Sandra and she's like at work and stuff, even though she's in the house, like it sounds like she's in this like warehouse working away. She's here in the house and I'm like, I'll make breakfast and it's a little task. And I've told her before, like when I make breakfast for myself, it's kind of like this job. And when I make breakfast for her, like I actually enjoy it. You know, it's like I want to get everything just right. And I also don't have the added pressure because I like my food to be very hot. You know, I like my food to be very hot when I eat it. Like, I'm very picky with the temperature. It should be scalding hot. Like, I want it like steaming off the plate kind of thing. And she doesn't really mind the temperatures being a little bit more mild. Yeah, she gets breakfast. She's a weenie and egg type of gal. She likes very simple dishes. Even though I've tried to like elevate them a little bit with like different things, and she's like, don't.
Garlic powder, like.
I didn't put garlic powder. I put onion powder. I put onion powder, and then I was adding garlic, like minced garlic to kind of like add a little bit of more flavor to it. And she was like, no. It's actually in a lot of food. Like onion powder is used a lot in food. It really drives up how the flavors change in food. Like when you make anything on a skillet or like anything on a grill, onions for whatever reason just like take it to it. I hate onions. Like I hate the texture of onions, not the taste, because the taste it doesn't even taste like anything to me. It's just like an onion flavor. They do have a spice though, right? Like they're a little spicy when you bite into them, but I just like, you need that onion powder. You really do. It amplifies the flavors like tenfold. And it's such an easy little thing to get, and you'll miss it in a cook, you know, like when I make barbecue, like if we make I like to make fajitas like outside in the pit, you know. You gotta add those extra little flares to things to kind of like amp up the flavor of the stuff that you're making. Like if we make grilled chicken or anything like that, I like to add a little bit of my own stuff to it because it makes it more fun. And it also, like, I'm not boasting, but it makes it taste better. Like it just takes it to another level. I always use rosemary. I always use like basil. I love basil a lot for like soups and any kind of like anything with egg. I love using basil. I don't know why, it just tastes good to me. My taste buds just want it. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't go, like I just want basil in everything. And I love adding bell peppers. Like bell peppers in everything. I used to hate supreme pizza. Like all those different little vegetables on my stuff, like I hated it. And I don't know why, when I got like, I think I was like 18, I just started eating it and I never turned back. So I started getting mushrooms on everything. I started getting green peppers. I started liking olives, and I hated olives for the longest time. I didn't like the weird aftertaste, like that vinegary aftertaste that it has. And I started loving it out of nowhere. Like I just started liking how it tasted. A hard-boiled egg, I used to mess with that. Like every once in a while, like I would get an intrusive thought and just hard-boil an egg out of nowhere. And I would just, it was like a little task like that I wanted to do. I want to hard-boil an egg and just eat it like that. Just salt and egg. Is that weird? It is a little weird. Just randomly, like, I'd go into the kitchen, whatever time it was, and just make a hard-boiled egg. I keep forgetting I already did those. Did I already do? It's because they're so fast. Like, they produce the eggs so fast. Damn, I spent my whole day, like... my whole day went into, like, egg management. Let me dip into the mines real quick, because I kind of lost track of my day there. But that's one of my favorite things to cook, though. Bacon and egg. A lot of, like, other dishes, like the fajita that we make, like, it's marinated, so it's already ready. And it's... I'll do a live one day. If we ever make a barbecue, like, soon, I'll do a live, and so you guys can see how I kind of do it a little bit. See if I'm making any mistakes. If you guys have any tips for me that you do, because I've been doing it the same way for like however long. Is it still good, Pookie? Sandra says it's still good, so I don't want to bore her with my cooking either. she likes it. I love making simple dishes as well. Like, I like making fideo, which is like Mexican version of like spaghetti for us Mexicans. I grew up on that stuff. Like, it was our ramen. My grandma used to make it for me. My mom used to make it for me. I'd eat a lot of like Spanish rice, green rice, the cilantro like green rice. I loved it. I don't know why. I just like, I loved eating sides ever since I was a kid. So I really didn't care for like the meat. I wanted rice, like a whole plate of rice. That's all I wanted. It was more filling to me. And that was always the thing. Like, I wanted to be full. I didn't want to have like a big old steak and then feel hungry like an hour later. I'm getting hungry between you and Bubs, right? Like, I need to stop talking about food. I'm like amping up everybody's appetites. And a salted pork with a what is it? A brie cheese and a Gruyere's cheese glaze, like almond butter. Like, stop, dude. Honey glazed applesauce. I was talking about a Stardew like cookbook, like making a Stardew cookbook of my own, because they have one, but like make them funky, you know, like a Stardew razzleberry pie. They're razzleberries because they're razzle-tastic. You don't know, dude. And also because of copyrights. I've made my own cookbook. You can do it. You can self-publish your own things. We're talking about that with the self-publishing, with like how the bands in the mid-2000s kind of like got sick of all the companies kind of taking their huge cuts out of their money. It's like, let's go make our own like album, or let's go make our own like label, so we don't have to keep paying all these lawyers like millions of dollars. Just get a binder and paper protectors and you're good. Damn, I like came at the perfect time. It ended my little mining session. What do y'all think of my little Christmas fit? I don't like that they look like shorts. That's my only thing. You've been trying to sleep early, Bubble. I've been trying to sleep early too, but I can't, dude. Like, that's why I was doing the stuff with the RSS feed. And if you know what that is, but like it's a little tedious, so I had to do a couple of verification things to get that sorted and situated and kind of like set up for any eventuality in the near future. But good night, Bubble. Hopefully you get some rest and you start your day fresh tomorrow. Friend of Hagrid. You're a friend of Dungeon if you're a friend of Hagrid. We're all about the Harry Potter in here, dude. Although I am a Slytherin, so keep that in mind. I'm not about Gryffindors. It even sounds better. Like, you gotta admit, Slytherin house just sounds better. Like, when they say that, you're like, damn, dude, that house looks sick, dude. They got Snape. Isn't Snape a Slytherin? We got the coolest guy. All the cool guys are on Slytherin, bro. I want it to be Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. I kind of mess with the Ravenclaws, not gonna lie. I feel like they're like those wizards that are too cool for everybody. They're like, you wizards are so pretentious with your like off-the-cuff magic. Like, you need to learn deep magics. Like, they feel like snobs. Like, they learn like really obscure like mystical arts that aren't practiced anymore from like ancient civilizations. Like, we spent our time in the Middle East and we learned the ancient practices of the Egyptians. Their magic is deepest, you know, like that kind of thing. I feel like they would know all like the deepest ancient secrets and they would never tell anybody. And it's like Ravenclaw secrets. Not me making a fan fiction in the live. Slytherin water signs Gryffindor fire signs, Hufflepuff air signs, Ravenclaw earth signs. Ravenclaw was the nerds. Yeah, I feel like they were. I can't even recall. Like, I think on the one like pool that I got, because I did buy a Harry Potter like trading card game like booster pack. I got a Ravenclaw witch, so I don't even know like who she was. She was like, she had long dark hair. I can't confirm or deny who this person was. But she was a Ravenclaw. My one pool from the Harry Potter booster pack was a Ravenclaw. I think I still have it. It's somewhere around. I just gotta look for it. I've gotten into trading cards. That's something I never thought I'd get into. It's kind of weird. I never saw the hype in trading cards. I was always kind of like not into it, and I slowly got into it. I think I blame Pokemon the most. I'm just a big old dork, dude. Sometimes I feel like I'm cool, and then I really look at everything that I do. I'm like, I'm not, dude. I'm like the furthest thing from cool. With my weird habits. My weird collections of all my odds and ends. It is cool. Thank you, Haunted. I always feel really dorky. I always tell Santa, I'm like, you're the one that married me. You're the one that puts up with this weird dorkiness. What's like the dorkiest thing I do that you can think of? She says my trading card, but that's like a recent thing. I think I'm a dork for like music, like you guys aren't Disney bounding? You guys aren't Disney bounding? What is that? What is? I do Disney adult a little. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's when you dress up like Disney characters daily. Nah, I don't do that. I don't look like anything, like any of the characters. I don't think I do. So I can't go off and act like I'm dressing up like Max from Goofy. Although I like the songs from the movie. I sing those songs like very regularly. But nah, I don't swag out with Disney wear. Although I do have a Max shirt. No, I have a Powerline shirt. I have a Powerline shirt. I do. I nerd a little bit for Powerline. I think the nerdiest thing I do is the constant like deep dive like things that I like study. Like there's no need for me to know like 90% of something that I have nothing to do with. Like, am I gonna be, what is it, a deep undersea explorer? Like, no. You guys are yourselves, but the things you like aren't your only personality trait. That's a good take on that. Like, we don't make it our personality. Like, we don't wear it on our sleeve. Like, I'm all about, you know. Whenever I would run into that, I never understood, like, kind of like the mentality that was coming from, you know, like, why make yourself one facet, like one faceted kind of individual? Like, I know that's not all you can like, you know, like there's more stuff that you're capable of liking. They make one thing kind of like their whole personality. It's a little boring, right, guys? Like, why make that your whole thing? There's so many interesting things in the world to learn about and like, I think I do. I will claim that compliment. I will claim it. I think I do kind of like go down the rabbit hole of like liking these very obscure things and studying them and like being fascinated by them. I think I give myself a lot of credit for that just because I've always liked it. Like, I like studying things. I don't know why. It's just I've always had that little like question in my mind. Like I want to know more. I want to know the things that they don't want to talk about. I want to know what they're not telling you about stuff. Like there's deeper facts about that stuff. I'm like those little robots that they throw in the tunnel that map everything. Like every nook and cranny needs to be mapped. Like if you've seen Prometheus when they throw those drones out to kind of like map the tunnel, like that's me. I want to know every layer of everything. Doesn't matter how minuscule, how like obscure. I want to know everything and everything, like anything and everything about it, for literally no reason. That's why I started watching Sandra. She was dressed like Isabel E-Girl while streaming. Really? You were dressed like an Isabel E-Girl? When? I don't remember that.
Well, I wasn't dressed.
Oh, okay.
I was like, when did I
Oh,
just...
wasn't. I read that wrong, sorry. I was like, wow, I don't remember you doing that. If you did.
Like, where was I?
I was like, I wasn't there, was I? Yeah, it's a little topic that we'll talk about, you know. It's definitely in the air. I was trying to find Animal Crossing streamers and one girl was making animal noises. Oh my god. Are you serious? That's odd. I've never seen someone do that. I've seen like the e-girl setups. I've seen the aesthetic setups where like they do stuff like that. It's interesting. Like it's not for everybody. I get bored of that stuff. I'll be honest with you. The beep boops, they sound like, oh, okay. I was like, animal noises. Like, are you like saying like a horse? So they're acting like the animals in the game. So they're doing like the me 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 like that. I've never seen someone do that, dude. That's crazy. Like, have you seen that?
Yep.
You've seen that? Why didn't you tell me that? Like, why wouldn't you tell me that? That's super weird and so like odd. Like, I would want to know that. You kept that from me? I think I reported or blocked them. I mean, it's up to you what you want to filter in your life, you know. Like that's how I take this experience on TikTok. If you don't like something, you can do whatever you want. If you can scroll away, block, do whatever. Like it's not going to affect anybody. It's just you take it out of your realm, you know. People take things a little too personally. Like if you don't want to see something, you can do whatever you want to kind of make that stop. And I think that's fair. I was like, oh god, real people when I saw Sandra. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I tell her, like, we don't want to get stuck on one flavor, you know? And that's very easy to, like, fall into, where you're just, like, you're that guy. You're the Call of Duty guy, for instance, where you just play Rage. You know, you just rage all day. Like, you're going to give yourself a headache. On my phone that I pay for, yeah, like, you can do whatever you want. And I think people do take a little offense to that sometimes. It's like, oh, so you don't want to watch my stuff, huh? You know, like, no, I don't. You know, like, okay, then there's a million other people in the world that will. So let's not get possessive. Let's not get weird about stuff. Let's let people make their decisions and move on. We're all adults here, even though like there are a lot of kids on here. Like there is a big adult following in here, and like we can do what we want and how we want to. We have the freedom to do that as well. You're like, I pay my taxes, so I'm gonna do what I wilt with my phone that I pay for. Exactly. Like that's very on the vibe, as the kids say, because I'm not a kid, even though I have like a very like, I think I sound like a teenager sometimes. Do I sound like a teenager, guys? Like sometimes I feel like I sound like I'm still like 14 years old. I hope I don't. It's takes $0 to just not watch something. Yeah, like I say, people take this stuff a little too seriously. It's just the internet. We can move on and find other things that we're interested in. Like that's what I do with my time. Like I'm not here like making drama. I go find stuff to talk about and interesting things that intrigue me, and also creators that intrigue me. And if that's not you, then don't take it personal. Like I found something that intrigues me. I found someone that intrigues me that causes me to stop, and have a conversation like that. That to me is more involving and like entertaining. And if this platform is for anything, is entertainment. So that is the true test of like what you're doing, in my opinion. If you're entertaining your crowd, if you're really like engaging with your crowd, then it's not a formulaic experience. We both sound young. We don't what? I don't like the cutesy girls. Sorry, not sorry. It's for somebody, it's for someone out there that likes that. But I'm not that person. I'm not gonna be here dressed like an e-boy. Like I'm not gonna be like the male version of that on here and try to be like, what's up you guys? Like real high voice. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do my version of this stuff and like what I think is entertaining for me, and also if I want to ever move on to something else, like there's other interesting things I want to do with you guys, and if you're along for the ride, then so be it. Sandra's like baby goth princess. She is a baby goth princess, dude. We always have that competition between us. I'm like, who's more goth? I always bring it up. I'm always so competitive with her. And I'm like, I know obscure bands more than you. And she's like, it doesn't matter because those bands suck. And she's like, nobody likes those bands but you. I'm like, so what? I'm gothier than you. I look more goth. He's like, it's like Portlandia. I've seen a little of that show. Just like half an episode. So I can't say I've seen a whole episode, but I've seen like bits. I'll need to find the goth sketches. I know there was one with, the one that stuck out to me was the one with Glenn. So that one immediately stuck out for me. With my face full of piercings back in the day, please. Yeah, but that's just like stuff on your face, dude. I'm still very like, nah, that's not enough. I think because like I really want to do more than that, like I want to go like hard and do like extreme things, but low key like it's too much. Like we live in a small town. Like I would be the talk of the town in a kind of bad way. Like we also have to live here, so it's like I don't want to make my experience here like this really odd thing where I can't even go out and get a bite to eat. Santa was that girl and is still that girl. Yeah. I feel like I'm less gothy now. I'm more like I don't even know how to describe myself now, honestly. I don't know what I am. What am I? What am I now? Your modern day Phil. Without the controversy. Not my little void chickens. Cowboys from Hell. I never really mess with them with their band. I really didn't. I didn't like them. They were too mainstream for me. I liked that one song like that we all know, right? And I was just okay, that's an okay song. I'm not gonna listen to it constantly. I'm not gonna make it my whole personality like you were saying. A lot of the people from here did though. They opened for Danzig when I saw them. The Misfits tour that happened without any of us, like that reunion tour. Were you there for that reunion tour? Is that the one you're talking about? Because I'll block you right now if you went to that, because I hate you. Like, That's super rude that you went to that and you didn't take us. Like, nah, I went to Halloween. Oh, okay. All right, I'm not jealous. They did the reunion, guys, of like the whole crew, the whole Misfits crew, and I'm a big Misfits nerd. I like their stuff. I've always liked their music. I like the Misfits. My voice cracking. But Doyle also played, so they did Misfits covers without Jerry. You see, there's always like one card missing in the deck. You know, that's the... And Doyle mentioned it in one of his like interviews. He was like, you know, the music industry's funny. And I can actually quote him. Like, this is how big of a nerd I am for those guys. Like, I can quote him verbatim, like, what he said. He's like, the music industry is the only industry where you have people that can make millions of dollars and just like get so petty that they won't sit down and just make music and make money together. Nah, my friend went to Madison Square Garden to see the reunion. Doyle is actually very nice. He's like vegan goth, like grandpa. Like, he's super chill, it looks like. I've never met him, so I won't say like I know the guy, but I've heard good things. That's my take on Doyle. I'll know if I ever meet him, if I ever get the chance, the privilege. We'll see. I think I'll faint. Like, I'll see him and I'm like, oh my, you know, you're still in such good shape for your age. Oh my. I had to take a pic and pay and ended up walking down the street with him and snapping a pic. You took a pic with him? You suck. You're blocked. You're like, I kissed him too. Ah. You gave him 2 little kisses on his cheek. Okay, Lee. I know, with her blocking, she's gonna block all of us eventually. She's just gonna like hijack the server from us and just take it away. It's just Lee and her like husband in there, and she puts our faces as masks. It's me, Dungeon. It's like, you sound different. you sound so very different now. She be momming all the time. She's like an alpha mom, dude. But low-key, like, sometimes I need that. I need someone to come in and tell me, like, hey, quit it. And I do need someone in there to tell me to chill out. Like, I'm too much. And you saw it, like, I'm too much. Like, I'm too sketch. I'm just a little too wacky. I'm a little too Looney Tunes sometimes. I'm gonna sell this wool. I don't really feel like I'm gonna use it. I was a little hesitant to do it, but I don't see a use for it. Oh look, all the goth chickens are 5-star or 5 heart now. True Moo is, oh, move, dude. True Moo, you big heifer, you. Gotchley is 5 hearts. Oh my god, True Moo. Frong is 5 hearts. Nameless Goth Chicken is 5 hearts. What? I named this one. I named one of these. Choppy. I think this is Erica's Goth Chicken. And then Candy, if you're still in the live, there's your chicken. She's 5 hearts. Elvira, Queen of the Damned, Queen of the Dark, Queen of all goths everywhere. Vampirella, another baddie, dude. All 5 hearts. Julie the goth chicken, just 5. I mean, it could go to 10.
No, just 5.
Nah, just 5. Mothman's chicken is 5 hearts. Everybody's 5 hearts. I think the duck was kind of pissed at me at one point. Sony the duck. Sony, or is it Sunny? Yeah, it's Sony. I always forget because I always think I put an extra N there. And then Terry the rabbit is 4 stars. Why did I name him Terry? I don't know. It just seemed like an appropriate name. I also like trying new games. I was this live experience and like doing these sessions with you guys, like it's got me trying new stuff. Like I want to play new games. I don't want to play the same old like tired games I've been playing. I haven't touched like some of the games I was playing like religiously for a long time. Like I tried starting up Smite and I had it loaded up and everything. I was queued up in the match and 3 minutes in waiting for a match, it never began. Like there was nobody playing it. And I was just like, wow, it kind of like I think it kind of died, you know, like there's no crowd over here right now. And it wasn't too late, so I was just like, what's going on? You know, this is like prime Smite time. Is around like 9-10 in the evening or 9-10 at night. I was kind of shook. I was like, is this game finally like sinking into the ground? Is it over? Did I miss the last bus? I do like playing it, and I was playing some offline Smite with Erica, and we're actually having a pretty good time. I think that's an enjoyable game to just like leave, like kind of a cash, but still like a weird experience. Like it's an interesting game. I like playing it. It's very fun to play. It's a little competitive, but it's still fun to play. I think we'll end the live at 1, just so we can round it off on an even number, so we don't keep you guys up too late, because this wasn't exactly planned, so we won't stay on too long. Welcome back, Jacqueline. I think Haunted fell asleep. She probably fell asleep on the live. She was like, I'll be right back. I'm sorry if I put you guys to sleep. Does it feel like you're on a phone call with an old friend? Because that's pretty cool. I want to set up a mic, because there's this like lady that is on YouTube. I'm always name dropping YouTube. It does feel like a call, right? It feels like you're on a phone call with an old friend or an old family member, an old acquaintance that you're catching up with. Remember that time we were hanging out at the beach and we got that 12-pack and we watched the sunset? What a day. We need to do that again, man. We need to hang out again. Not me role-playing on the live. But, yeah, she does this, like, sound, this sound work with her phone. So it's like a rotary type phone, or like a touch tone phone, like those old house phones that we used to use back in the day. And she sings into it. So it has like this, old retro like vintage phone call feel, and I want to kind of like borrow that idea from her songwriting and like her like her sound style. It's so cool. I had never seen anyone kind of do something similar, so it kind of stood out to me in that way, where she's really using like the sound of because the mic on the phones from back in the day, like they were very like grainy, like there was this grainy quality to them. And I'll do this in the live. I'd actually mess with this a little bit on my training sesh that I did on offline. I can actually do this in the live, so let's kind of mess around with the sound a little bit and change some stuff, right? It's gonna sound a little different, but it sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know how you guys will think of it, or what you guys will think of it. Let's see if it lets me do it, because I was doing it and it's a little tricky. Unless it's just when I'm like offline. Is that how it works? Is it enhance? No, it's not enhance. Background? No. I'm thinking it's the audio mixer. Okay, so I'm going to the mic settings, general settings, audio effects. There we go. I found it. And I can change the mic quality to a more like vintage kind of quality where it sounds very like walkie talkie. How does that sound? Does it sound a little different? I think I have to close it first. Does it sound a little bit different now? Oh, it sounds like a radio. Does it? Because that's what it sounded like to me. It started sounding kind of like an old school radio, like the old school like FM radios. And I was really into it. Like it was like broadcasting on all channels, like kind of thing. The walkie talkies. I think the walkie talkie one sounds the most like vintage sounding. Even though it's supposed to sound, yeah, it sounds really cool. I did my little like tasks, I ran my little like brain across all of these and found the one that I like the most. I want to do a pod. You see, like the podcast sound. I want it to sound like you're listening to like an old school radio from like back in the 1930s or 20s. Like what I always do, like those old timey like Senator doesn't want me to do them ever. Those old timey like announcers from back in the day. The Allies have landed in Normandy. you know, it's always Normandy, she says. But like that kind of vibe. I like the sound. I'm digging the sound. I really enjoy I really enjoy the aesthetic. So I'm an aesthetic guy. I didn't know that about myself, but I really am. I love like the sounds of something. Digital vocal fry, like those cathode tube radios, those old timey radios. You're listening to old timey radio. You know, you can just well, I kind of want to hear like the clearness of it also because I want the sound to come like clean. So you get like kind of that podcasty feel of like an old microphone. Like you could dust it, with how old it is, how crusty it is. But her music sounds very similar. So I'll do that after the live. I don't know. I think I have two tasks after the live. I have to drop her socials because I really like. She also like has a really nice voice, and her music is really good too.
Oh yeah?
What?
You think she has a nice voice?
Sandra's already getting jealous over there. Um,
I tell her to fix your life next time.
she jelly. Who is it? I'll look it up on YouTube because I can't recall the name. Like, I'm terrible with like their names. I had it on my car because I was driving home, and I heard one of the songs that she plays like because it's saved on my likes, right? And I saw the name and I recognized it, but I didn't know the song at first. And then I heard it and I was like, oh, it's that old timey like microphone phone call like aesthetic creator on YouTube. It sounds really good. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard it. If you have, like, maybe if you guys have come across it. He does it while we're driving and I'm trying to talk to him. I do that a lot. I like talking like that. It's fun. Isn't it fun? Like, I mean, I don't know. If you guys can do impressions, like, I love doing impressions.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you something.
She's trying to be serious for, like, however long, and I'm just, like, doing a vaudeville act in the car.
The Normandy.
The Allies have landed in Normandy. They're giving the boys hell back home. That kind of thing. I just like it. I don't know why. I guess because I grew up, like, playing a very specific game, and it really, like, ingrained in my memory, like, that old school radio. I used to play this game called... Damn, I've been playing games forever, guys, but, like, I used to play this game called, I think it was Toy Soldiers, and, like, it's green versus tan. Like, the tan army versus the green army. And every, like, mission beforehand, it's all, like, 1940s, like, announcer, like radio show host. Nah, I went on a date with a man who lied about his age, and he unironically had a transatlantic accent. I had to stop enjoying it. It's cool. I like it. I don't know. I guess because I've always been like really late. If you're into the Fallout games, like if you like Fallout, like I didn't like Fallout when it first came into my life. I was like 10. But if you're into Fallout, like I love the Fallout like lore. I love the Fallout universe. Like the I think was it on Netflix or it was on HBO? It was on Prime. Oh yeah, it was on Prime. It was such a good show. It was such a good show. The Fallout show on Amazon Prime was such a good show to me. I thoroughly enjoyed that show like completely. And the lead, that guy is just something else. His last name is Goggins, something Goggins, and he's in so many movies and shows now. Like we were robbed. He should have been in everything a lot sooner. I feel like he lends himself so much to his craft. Like he's such a good actor. Walter Goggins. I couldn't remember his first name. I remembered his last name because it's such a specific name. Uncle Baby Billy. Yeah, we watched that show.
So good.
We really like binged that show. Uncle Baby Billy. What was that line?
Bible bumper.
Uncle Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers. Like what? What the hell are you? They're so confused when he mentions that show. That he's like cooking up for their stuff, and they're like, "No, dude, that sounds terrible." I feel like that's how I sound when I'm trying to like come up like brainstorm ideas. Like I'm Uncle Baby Billying myself and coming up with these wacky schemes that aren't gonna work. Are you guys still digging the old school mic? I don't want to have it on and it's like getting annoyed. I feel like it makes it even more like a phone call, doesn't it? It makes it feel like you're on a phone call, like across state lines kind of thing. Like, I'll be there to pick you up on Sunday, Just make sure you get that train ride over here. I'm a sound nerd. I think I've been an audiophile my whole life and I didn't know. I'm a sound dork. I should have been a lot sooner. It would have helped in everything that I do. My friend and I were doing a podcast intro, and it was basically like an old phone call style. It's because like that was it, that was the time, when you would stay up all night and talk to your friends, run up that phone bill in the middle of the night, talking about nonsense and giggling all night, like literally, like you can't replicate it. That youth. And then we'd start the show, but we never did anymore. You gotta start that up again. You gotta do that stuff. It's fun. Yeah, the sleepy gigs, like you can't stop laughing. Your parents come over and tell you to shut up because you got school tomorrow. Like that kind of vibe. I was doing prank calls. I don't know about you guys, but I think I was like 12 or 13 making prank phone calls. I would literally just dial random numbers in the middle of the night and make the most annoying phone calls. I'm such a terror. I was such a terror. Like, I would just terrorize everyone. I don't have a studio anymore. My ex worked in radio, so I used that. I want to do that, like, in my own mini version, like, create a studio. Like, not completely, right, where you're not having, like, a mixing board and everything, but you can kind of make, like, a toned down version of it, like, on a budget, and still have a pretty decent setup. Like, this is not so bad, like, I like this little, like, I mean, it's not, like, ideal, it's not everything that's, like, 5 stars, but you can kind of get the flavor of it and still accomplish what you're setting out to do, and it's gonna sound reasonably well. Yeah, the soundproofing, it's not really an issue for us, but, like, I think, just in case I drop something, I would like to not have to worry about that. So I'd probably get like a better mic for the lives, because this is, although this is a decent mic, it needs to be a little bit better. I want to have like a little pop filter on it, maybe a little bit of like um, fine tuning abilities, you know. And I think I'll enjoy it as well. I need to get more familiar with like audio studios, and the filters do help. I need to get more familiar with like sound editing. Like, I didn't know that you had to make like an RSS feed and submit to YouTube. Like old school, like you have to take a picture of your ID and send it in to get verification and get privileges on YouTube so that you can start a podcast basically. Because you're going to start that RSS feed, and that automatically streams all your sound bites and everything to YouTube on its own. Audition and Bandcamp work well. Yeah, I think because YouTube has the biggest podcast like crowd is where I'd like to have that kind of be a thing. And I'm also very familiar with like their user interface. Like I can kind of work my way in there and start doing something. Bandcamp and GarageBand, like I know they do a little editing. I've never messed with it. Like I started down the rabbit hole of like sound editing and like studio stuff with the music that I was trying to make recently. And there's some of them that sound pretty decent, and they're free, which is another thing. I don't want to be spending like a lot of money with something I'm not really familiar with, because I don't have like an unlimited budget to just throw at this. Like I want to kind of like get my money's worth in terms of like it's free right now, but I can kind of spend money on it when I'm more familiar with it. So I'm talking like Fruit Loops, I'm talking SoundCamp, I'm talking Soundtrap. Like there's a bunch of these editing tools that I can use and mess with that can fine tune this stuff for free. And I'm not actually like having to pay an arm and a leg for anything yet. But if I ever want to do that, if I ever want premium stuff on it, because literally everything is like pay to play now. Just like in Canva, like you're gonna have access to like materials that you otherwise wouldn't have, and I'll do that. Audition is Adobe and expensive, but GarageBand is free and easy. Yeah, I'm all about user interface. Like I really don't care for like the brands. Like I know some people get real fixated. Like you have to use this one for audio. You have to use this one for video. Like what works best for you, you know? Like because user interface is like key, and just a little peek behind the curtains as far as like studio stuff goes for like streaming and stuff. Like between the two, and this is just my honest take on like these two platforms, between Streamlabs and OBS, right? Streamlabs is the easier one to use, and I'm saying from experience, just my experience, like you're gonna have an ease of use that you have with Streamlabs that you won't have with OBS. Just my personal take on it. However you kind of like mess with stuff, that's up to you, but like I'm a little dumb with stuff like that. I'm still learning, so like it's difficult for me to kind of like navigate some of the user interfaces that I've been running into. And I noticed that with Streamlabs it was very easy for me to just pick it up and start playing with it, which I like. The easier it is, the faster you can get stuff out, you know. That's how I reason with it. So maybe OBS is better. Like there was a lot of like, I was debating. I was like, if this one's terrible, I don't want to use it. I did my little research and I was like, damn, I really don't want to start using something, get used to it, and then be like, it's because you should have been using this other one. You know, like, damn, I messed up. You know, I shouldn't have started using that one so much. Now I'm used to this user interface, and they're kind of like changing everything and ruining it. So that's a thing. Right now I'm in the camp where I'm like, I'm training myself in both. I'm literally like messing with the TikTok Studio, OBS, and Streamlabs. However much I can, so that I can get used to all of them to some degree in case any of them fall through or change too much that I can't use it, or it's like unusable for me. That's the key. I think that's the way I'll say it. It's unusable for me. Like my skill set is whatever it is, and this is what works easiest for me. That makes the most sense in how I said it. And it is key. It is like the ease of use is like, that's why they make a whole business out of making Amazon reviews and like product reviews. Like that's one of the biggest like platforms that you can start off very easily, is just like doing reviews and like kind of your take on things. Like, does it really work? Like how Graveyard Girl would say, does this thing really work? It could be better, but it might not be better for you. Yeah, that's how I experienced it with that, and that's what makes sense to me, that I use something that's easy for me. And I felt really dumb, you know, like I felt like I wasn't doing it right. TikTok Studio was like alien to me. I couldn't figure out how to make stuff move. Like when I first opened this stuff, guys, like I was like, what is this? Like, how do you put stuff on the screen and how do you move it? Now we're like navigating it like if it was just second nature. So in that example, I can tell you like the TikTok Studio is very easy to kind of learn on the fly. So if you ever want to try it, like it's very easy to get used to. And who knows, you'll probably be better at it than me, because you'll like have a different take, or you pick up on things a little bit faster than I do. So it takes me a while. Like certain things I just have like a mental block to, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude, what is this? I can't. And I have to like, me and Sandra will go back and forth, and it's like, how did you do this and how did you do that? Like, and that's some of the times where we're like frustrated with each other is because of that. Like something is easier for her and something is super easy for me. Like, and I think that she gets everything, and I'm just like assuming that she knows, but she can't read my mind. So I'm just like, I forget sometimes, and I'm like, oh snap! Like she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I have to go explain it. Like with the Discord stuff, I was just like, open this and open that, and she was like, what are you talking about? Like, what is that? And where's this? And how do you do that? And like, I think we're both like not communicating that part, and we're just like, oh, we never talked about it. I just assumed you knew. Yeah, and the box is full, so when you get back, you got something to do. Together you can achieve greatness. You sound like a little ad. But yeah, together we work a little better. We kind of like fill in the gap of the stuff that we're missing. Like there's stuff that she gets, that stuff that I really like, I can't. And I am a bot. Womp. But she noticed it, and I think that's where like did you ever just feel like that? Like when I started doing stuff, did you feel like kind of disenchanted, I guess, with how confused I was with certain stuff? I did feel that coming from you.
I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean you don't know? And I was just like, I don't know. And she was like, I saw the confusion on her. Like, I've never done this, you know?
You know everything.
I know a little bit of everything, right? Just the stuff that I know, but like I've never practiced any of this stuff. Like I know what it's called. I know what it does. I just never used it myself. You can know it's like that Big Bang joke. Like, do you guys know how to take apart? Do you guys know like how a combustion engine works? It's like, of course. And they're like, can you fix one? It's like, no, dude. No, we can't. Like, of course you can't, because you've never done it. And that's the thing, is like, I've never gotten my hands dirty with this stuff. I've barely started. We're 3 months in. We're 4 months in at this rate. Like, 5? Like, it's only been 5 months. Like, and I'm troubleshooting on the fly. I'm making the content. I'm engaging. I'm being on camera. Like, I'm trying to do it all, you know? And I think running into things is my best trait. Is if I just get a running start, I won't feel as hindered by myself. Like if I'm there thinking about it, then I will kind of slow down and not do it in its time. And I miss out because it's like, as an example, with this stuff that's coming up on the 19th, like I waited this long to start and I finally get used to it. So you see how you can kind of like neglect things a little too much and then you let it slip right by you. But it took me this long to kind of get used to stuff and like get comfortable, start familiarizing myself, and start getting used to being like on, in other words. And even though like I mentioned before in like last night's live, like I'm not really on. Like this is me just being casual and talking. Like this is my normal talking casual voice. This is how I talk, and I wanted it to feel as natural as possible. And the same thing, the ease of use. If I walk in acting a certain way or trying to like make it another way, like I'm gonna struggle because I'm not gonna feel 100% all the time. And if I just talk my normal self, my normal voice, everything as it always is, then I can stroll in and it feel very natural because it is natural. It's not a bottled thing that I'm like saving up for the live. When you roll up your sleeves, you learn best. Yeah. Like that mechanics reference that you made. Like sometimes you just gotta roll up your sleeve. Unscripted. I think people vibe with that. That's my take on it. I think people do vibe with just being like your unfiltered self. As much as possible, as much as within reason, right? Like within societal norms. It's just being yourself and kind of like lending yourself to like your crowd. However many people are like there with you. I think it really speaks like to everyone and they like it. If y'all were filtered, we'd never have a nub, dude. We never know about the nub. The nub would not exist. Sender's too distracted to get the reference. Ooh, we're hitting the 1 o'clock, guys. We actually did it. We're finishing up on time and on schedule. It's been a decent live, I think. We learned a little bit, didn't we? Jacqueline, did we learn a little bit together? Or was I just soothing today? Was I just putting people to sleep? She's like, yep, I didn't hear any of it. She's like, I didn't hear one word. That happens to me sometimes. Like, we're talking about stuff, and I'm just like, oh, crap. I don't know, my sleep meds ain't kicking in. Oh, I hate that. I had to take 2. No, I know, I'm just kidding. So not falling asleep yet. I'll still be on. I'll still be playing on Twitch a little bit. Like, if you want to swing on over there, I just don't want to keep anybody up. And also, the stream's going to hit the 2-hour mark. So, kind of tidy it up at the 2-hour mark. Jacqueline is a good listener. I know, right? But I'm literally kind of like living my dream here. We're doing like a little radio show. And it's happening, you know? So, if we ever transition into anything else, like I can do this and enjoy it. Now I'm gonna take another gang. You and Ed are a lot alike. Oh, I don't know him well enough to know that, but I trust you, Jacqueline. Are we like 2 peas in a pod kind of thing, or is he exactly, huh? Or is he exactly as messy as I am? I'm pretty messy. I'm like super messy. And like I told Sandra, I'm like, you just gotta enjoy the mess. Sometimes being messy is peaceful. Like you can just relax, you know? Being so fixated on how things are sitting, like, it can kind of like create a bottleneck for creativity where you're not able to just go with the flow. He also wanted to do music. He bought the Fruit Loop software. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's like free, and that's what I felt safest with, is just like getting stuff that was free because I'm so inexperienced. I'm barely starting all that stuff. Like I love how easy it is to just start getting into stuff, when you just try it. But that fear needs to get out of your mind. Like you need to just try stuff and see if it's fun for you, if you enjoy it. I'm the messy one, he cleans up behind you. That's kind of how we are a little bit. Like I'll tidy up for Santa and she like tidies up our finances in life. She does all the adult things. I'm over here like doing all the like heavy tasks and like all the all the like sturdy work. And I'm always like feeding her and clothing her. I'm literally like putting her socks on all the time. It's always cold in here, like in the mornings. I hate that. The floor is like freezing because we never like learned to. We need to do that. We need to close up the bottom of our house so that we don't get that ugly draft because the cold front's here. So we're gonna feel that temperature change pretty soon. But thank you guys for stopping in tonight and chilling with me playing Stardew. I love playing this game. It's really relaxing and it lends itself to this live. It really does. I'm glad you guys like the filter. I was like, we'll see how it works. If it sounds good, we'll try it out. But again, thank you for stopping in and chatting with me. Hopefully, we get to do it again tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I want to keep like a consistency while we have the platform, and also like get more used to being on the lives with you guys. But thank you for stopping in, and hopefully those meds kick in, Haunted, so we can all get some shut eye. I know I'm still gonna be awake for hours. Like I'm super awake right now. But good night, you guys, and thank you for stopping in.